Just gather around, sit down if you want, and whatever you want to talk about. Everything is open for discussion.
Except spoilers. Do not ask spoilers.
Don't ask what's happening in 3 months in the solicitation you saw. We're not answering it.
No.
Come on up, come around. Grab some food and come sit down.
Who wants the armor?
Who wants the talking iron?
You have the armor.
You got to talk loud because we have no microphone.
I know. It's kind of sad. They're closing up the shop on the Dark Avengers. That was a lot of fun to read. Did you have a lot of fun writing? I mean, Norman Osborn was a fun character to read about every month.
It was a lot of fun to write. You know, Norman Osborn was actually based on 2 people that I know. In comics. In people I've dealt with in comics that are like, I think geniuses, and they got really far with their genius, and that same craziness that got them all the way to this shot them right out the other end. They destroyed their careers. And I was always fascinated by not just self-destruction, because anyone can self-destruct, but the gorgeousness of a genius self-destruction. And I said, that's what I want to write. I want to write that story. And I also wanted to write someone whose point of view of the world was arguable. Like, I think Magneto has always been my favorite villain, because regardless of his mishigas that he does, what he's saying, you go, oh, you got a point. All right, we can. I don't agree with you, but we can talk about it, you know. And I think those are the best villains. And Norman, but if handled well, had a point of view that was different than Tony Stark's and Nick Fury's. That you go, okay, you know. So that, yeah, it was a blast to write. I knew it was coming to an end, so I was never sad about it. I knew I was going to get to what I thought was a satisfactory ending, which you rarely get to see in ongoing Marvel mainstream comics. You know, you only get to see them in Vertigo comics, where you know they're ending at 60 or something. So we knew we were going this road. Most of the audience knew we were going this road, you know, so yeah, so it was a lot of fun. No, thanks for reminding me, man. I was shocked it did so well. That I was shocked about. So.
So, thank you. So, a lot of writers have, like, their Mona Lisa, the run that they have done that defines it. What character, what book, Daredevil, Atlas, Alias, all that, what would you say defines, what's your Mona Lisa?
I don't think I'm at Mona Lisa status yet. You know, no one, you know, other than Tarantino, who announced that *Inglourious Basterds* was his masterpiece. Most people don't actually announce that this is their masterpiece. Like Prince did stuff like that. But you know, also guys like Terrence Trent D'Arby did stuff like that, and then everyone stared at them. So I tend to, you kind of let, just keep going, you know, just keep swimming, you know. There are books I look at and I go, that's me in a nutshell, or that's what I like about comics in a nutshell, and it's not always what people think they are. But to me, like the Ultimate Team Up series is all my favorite artists, and the kind of, and it was a big chapter in my life as far as what kind of collaborator I was going to become, like what kind of mainstream writer was I really going to be. Was I going to be someone who just did whatever I was told, or was I going to hunker in and find artists that I love, and work with artists that I love, and tell stories the way I want them told? And I look at that book and go, there's when I said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So for me, that, I don't think it's my masterpiece, because it's not, but I look at it as an important book to me, and there's little things here and there that are like that, you know, so.
Well, Daredevil was a masterpiece.
Well,
that run was.
I think that's Alex's masterpiece. That's what I'll say to you there. But that's nothing. Watch what I do here. That's nothing compared to his work in Scarlet, which is coming out in July, which actually takes place in Portland. It's a Portland book. So July, the week before San Diego. Thank you, sir. What do you think what's your masterpiece?
Man, you know, at the moment, I'm going to take a cue for you and say the compiled Underground. That is, yeah, I saw some of you holding right now with Steve.
Hey, look, it's right there.
Yeah. It may get overlooked because no one shoots laser beams out their butt or anything in it, and so it makes it a little different than other stuff I do. But if you like action, thrilling, and just suspense, and I bet you'll like it.
By the way, Scarlett does shoot laser beams out of her butt. So
Damn!
you know what else? You know what he did that I always loved? And he put together the Oxtope doodle book. And it really is a wonderful piece of art history. Who wants the Iron Man? If you guys have any questions about Megan Fox being fired from Transformers 3, I have no comment at this time.
I saw you doing that.
But you gotta be willing. You gotta be willing to go. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna make.
No, it's one of those things like like the busker out singing on the street. He's just going to go out there and blow people away, or whatever, and then somebody's going to say, "Well, you're not going to stop singing off me, so come on." You know, you just got to go out. You can't wait for somebody to validate you as a writer or artist or anything. You just got to do it until everybody just forces.
How many years did you guys go?
I did 10 solid. 10 solid, almost to the day, in the trenches, publishing independent comics. I decided I was going to be the greatest Spider-Man artist of all time at age 4. So I started the rehearsals at age 4 till I think I broke in at 32 or something. I think when I got my first Marvel job. But you know what happens is, like when I was a kid, and particularly a teenager, and in my younger 20s, I was desperate for Marvel or DC's attention. I wanted in, as I'm sure some of you do. I want in, and anything I would do, I would send to them and say, please look at this, please consider me. I would meet people at conventions, I would try to get closer and closer and closer. But while that happened, I discovered my voice as a writer. I discovered that my voice as an artist was really not mainstream at all. So I just go, you know what, as much as I want in, it's not the focus. You realize as you get older, I don't even know who runs Marvel, and I don't need their opinion of me to matter to, justify who I am as a person. It's got to be, I'm going to make my own books. And then that juice gets very exciting. I'm making something, man. I don't care, and no one ever cared. I was putting them out, and it would be literally just enough to make another one.
Haven't you gotten people coming up and, they do say, my life dream is to write the X-Men.
Yes.
And it's like, why? You didn't create the X-Men. I didn't create it. I don't, I like them and everything, and I'll write them every time they ask me, but it's not my life dream. I want to create my own Popeye, Superman, whatever.
No, but you know what? I always look at it like, who has one life dream? I always think you have a bunch of life dreams. I have a bunch of things I want to do in the world. And I wanted to create graphic novels I've created. And I'm dying to write the Avengers. You never thought of doing it? How do you get to write the Avengers? I know how to make my own graphic novel. I'll do that. And then lo and behold, when I get the call, yes, I do want to follow Frank Miller's on Frank Miller's book. I do want to do the Avengers. And once you're there, it's the biggest honor in the world, to be there. But you can't make that about how you break in by creating something that you need. When people are looking, I always feel like once you realize that breaking in is just luck and perseverance, that waiting for Marvel and DC to call you is you setting yourself up to fail. Because that's not how it works. So just make your own stuff. So that's it.
And that's what they look for. They really do treat it like baseball leagues, where they're looking for farm leagues. They're looking to see you working at other mid-sized publishers, because that's not only they can read it and see how good you are, but then they can see you worked with an editor successfully. You apparently did all this on time, because we didn't hear horror stories of it shipping late. All these things that's like they've got to know before. Even with your art, if you look impressive, they've still got to know you were able to actually make your deadlines. You didn't go crazy in the middle.
The question you always get if someone comes up to you from the big leagues and says, how long did this take? If you say 7 years, then they're not that business. I'll say that some people, even in independent comics, secretly in their mind, they really want mainstream comics. They want the X-Men. I want the X-Men. And I'm doing this, but I'm doing this to get the X-Men. But you still have to be doing this with your heart, with your blood on the page. You have to mean it, because that's what they're looking for. They can smell a fake a mile away. You have to mean it. You have to have something to say that's different from what they already have.